It's gonna be live.
And we are live here on Acadiana Open Channel and WGS-TV. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to another episode of Sports Entertainment Tonight. I am the Russell Gamer, Double V Billy Boudreaux, along with Nick Nayday, because he doesn't make the ladies say Mayday. We kind of figured that out last week. Yeah, after we kind of almost killed the microphone last week.
I said, no! Don't say it!
And Mark, the Smart Trahan is here. Mark, how you doing?
Really good.
Well, we got a lot to get to tonight, ladies and gentlemen, including previewing Clash of Champions. We also got some information for WWE 2K17, and quite a few things happened on Raw and SmackDown Live this week that we definitely have to discuss.
5 hours of television.
Yep, and cramped into one hour public access live stream here on AOC and WGS-TV. So let's go ahead and get started. If you guys have anything you would like to talk to us about, anything wrestling related, you call into that number down there. That's 366-8950. We'd love to hear from you guys.
Come on, haters, come on.
Or not just that. If you have
That's
any,
what we need is a couple of haters to call in.
Yeah, you know.
And if you don't call, there's only one word to describe you. And I'm going to spell it out for you. S-F-W-F-T.
Soft.
And we're also live streaming on youtube.com/RussellGamer. So if you can't call in, or if you don't want to call in, if you're too shy to talk to us, just pop in the chat room and we'll definitely read your comments out loud, definitely.
Yeah.
So, gentlemen, first off, how was your week this week?
Pretty good. Refereeing, going to be in Memphis, Tennessee for the weekend. Going to ref.
You got a big match, huh?
Yeah, dog collar match.
A dog collar.
Yeah.
Oh, well, those can be kind of dangerous, so be careful with that one.
Yeah, don't get in the way, bro.
Yeah, especially if that swinging metal chain, those can leave a bruise.
Ooh, you're going to have some bruises there, buddy.
Yeah.
And not in the good kind either.
Much of the blood.
Is there a good kind of bruise?
No, there isn't. There isn't. I can tell you that for a fact, there isn't. But anyway, as my phone needs to shut up.
Tweeting. Is that Twitter?
Is it from Vince Russo?
No, that's actually from, Vince Russo blocked me, so he can't tweet me. But it's actually from my Periscope app, but I'll explain that later. But I want to start off the show with a little bit of a press release concerning WWE 2K17, because we've had Corey call in a few times wanting to know more information.
I'm a fan, and this year's a good DLC. It's pretty awesome.
But they released a press release about it, and it says, 2K today announced details surrounding the downloadable content offerings, Season Pass, and Digital Deluxe editions for WWE 2K17. And I do believe that's Corey right there. Corey, how you doing?
How y'all doing?
We're talking a little bit of WWE 2K17, man. Can you hold for a second? I got some information I need to get out there.
Sure.
All right, the downloadable content offerings will include playable characters from WWE, NXT, WCW, and WCCW, that's World Class Championship Wrestling. A playable match showcase based on the Hall of Fame class of 2016, a host of new in-game moves, and access to both unlockable content and player progression features. The individual content packages will begin releasing in late 2016, with some packages releasing in early 2017 for the PlayStation 4 and PlayStation 3 computer entertainment systems, as well as Xbox One and Xbox 360.
Hold on, I got a question about that.
What you got?
Can you use your own superstar?
Yep.
I believe so. I believe so.
And you get to be a Paul Heyman guy. Awesome.
About the game, this is according to Greg Thomas, the president of Visual Concepts, which is the head of 2K and Take-Two Interactive, I believe. It says, quote, WWE 2K17's extensive and diverse downloadable content offering celebrates WWE's past, present, and future, including playable characters from WWE, NXT, WCW, and WWE, match-driven content based on the WWE Hall of Fame class of 2016, and a large number of new in-game moves. Alongside WWE 2K17's commitment to authentic simulation-based gameplay and extensive playable roster and fan-favorite features such as My Career and the Creation Suite, this year's offering complements on our all-inclusive WWE experience at a great value. Corey, listen to some of these things. The first thing they have is called the Accelerator Pack. And what that means is players will gain access to all unlockable content available at the launch of the games.
Hold up.
Hold up!
With the Like a content.
Well, a lot of this, well, I'm about to tell you what that is, okay?
Alright.
All right. Players can also decide their overall rankings and attribute levels for all playable characters throughout the life of the product, and this accelerator pack will be only $4.99. The Future Stars pack, this is getting to what we're talking about, Corey. The first Future Stars pack will feature Austin Aries, Carl Anderson, Luke Gallows, the club, Mojo Rawling, and Ty Dillinger, you know, the perfect 10. And that Stars pack will be for $8.99. On the Hall of Fame Showcase, the playable matches will be Cactus Jack and Diamond Dallas Page taking on the Fabulous Freebirds. That's Jimmy Garvin and Michael P.S.A.'s on WCW Saturday Night, 1992. The Fabulous Freebirds, Buddy Roberts and Michael Hayes versus Kerry and Kevin Von Erich from WCCW 1986. Ivory versus Jacqueline. I don't know why, but Jacqueline was in the Hall of Fame. That's why. Yeah, Sting, but when he was, you know, when he had the colorful face paint in the 80s, versus Ric Flair from that great match from the Clash of the Champions 1988. One of my all-time favorite matches from Ric Flair and Sting. Then they also had Sting. Yeah, and also Sting when he was in part of the Wolf Pack in the NWO against Bret Hart, Halloween Havoc 1998. Get this, listen to this, Nick. Papa Shango versus the Godfather in a dream match.
Oh, train's back.
But
It's very metaphysical.
But think about this: Papa Shango and the Godfather are one and the same.
Yeah.
Very metaphysical.
Yeah.
And also the Big Boss Man with Albert taking on the Big Show from Armageddon 1999, and this Hall of Fame showcase will be for $9.99, kind of like the network. Legends Pack. I know you want to hear about this one, Corey. The Legends Pack. We got Brutus the Barber Beefcake, the legendary Eddie Guerrero, Greg the Hammer Valentine, Psycho Sid, and Tatanka.
I remember him.
Yep, and that pack will be for $8.99. Let me see here. The new... I'm not going to talk about the MyPlayer Kickstarter and Xbox One exclusives because it's just for like clothing and attribute boosts. That's pretty much what it is. The new moves pack, it'll have the swing out neck breaker made... Charlotte uses a swing out neck breaker? I'm not even aware of that. The elbow drop by Zack Ryder, the facial wash combo by Samoa Joe, and the knee clutch by TJ Perkins, the Cruiserweight champion. That'll be for for $3.99. The NXT Enhancement Pack will feature Apollo Crews, Nia Jax, and Shinsuke Nakamura. And for those of you who get it on the PS4 and Xbox One, you will also earn a 50% boost in points while competing at NXT during My Career. And that'll be for $9.99. However, players on the PlayStation 3 and Xbox 360 will not get that, but the Legacy Pack will be for $4.99. Of course, with the traditional Season Pass, you will get access to all of these with the addition for let's see, it's for $29.99, and you get all the packs that I just talked about. The Accelerator Pack, Future Stars, Hall of Fame, Legends Pack, and New Moves Pack. And that pretty much sums up the press release for WWE 2K17. So needless to say, Corey, we got a lot to look forward to when 2K17 comes out.
And you get to fight backstage in the crowd too.
Yeah, Nick, I know you're not much of a gamer, are you?
Yeah, I game.
All right, so what are your thoughts about 2K17 and this press release?
Well, from what you just read, Billy, what the hell do you get with the game? It sounds like you gotta buy everything after the game.
That's pretty much how downloadable content works nowadays.
So you end up paying like $200 for one game, or if you really want the full experience?
That's pretty much how a lot of game companies make additional money off their product nowadays. Is not only with the base game that they put out there, but along with additional downloadable content. However, if they get a season pass, which was something I was talking about, when they buy a game for an extra set of money, like for WWE 2K17, it's $29.99. You get access to all of that. You don't have to pay any of the other amounts, like the $4.99s and the $8.99s. You just pay a one-time amount of $29.99, and you get access to everything in any future DLC that's set to release.
That's a no-brainer.
Yeah, that's the perfect thing right there. To get the game
But
and the
basically,
season
the
pass.
game ends up being $90 then.
Yeah.
In a sense, but you got to look at it from a standpoint of, do you want to wait and just pay over and over again for the same pack, or do you want to pay a one-time fee and get everything right then and there?
Fair point.
Yes.
Mark, you have any thoughts?
I want to get everything right in the day.
Like,
Exactly my point, Corey. But anyway, Corey, we had a lot to talk about, especially with what happened on Monday Night Raw. How about that steel cage match with Roman Reigns and Kevin Owens? How about that?
Oh man, Raw has been trying to bring in. There's been rumors of a cage match. So I thought, to me, at the end of the show, kind of steal the show with Seth Rollins and his big spot off the top of the cage.
Yeah, and one thing I discussed on YouTube earlier this week was the fact that with this face turn that Seth Rollins is doing, it kind of seems to me, from my vantage point, that they're having Seth Rollins do a lot more of these daredevil type of spots.
You got to
get the crowd, drive the crowd excitement. And to me, I think he can do it. I mean, he's done it before as Tyler Black. So why can't he do it as Seth Rollins?
Well, and I think Seth Rollins is not yet fully over as a face. The crowd's still iffy on him because he's still kind of a jerk a little bit. But I think it's definitely going to take Triple H getting involved in this feud and having him so-called tear the company down, as he said he was going to do on Raw. And that's going to put him over as the top babyface.
Corey, what do you think about Seth Rollins and what he's done?
I would say this. I want the Shield back.
Oh, we also got. Oh, okay.
The Shield, yeah, we would all like to see that, Corey. And there's rumors that there actually might be a Shield reunion, at least with Seth Rollins and Roman Reigns.
We got a couple of commenters here in the chat room. First off, a person who got terribly trolled during our SummerSlam hangout by a friend of mine, Andy, and apparently Nonstop Player wants to come back for more punishment. Don't just think, Nonstop Player, that because we're at a public access level right now, that you're immune to any kind of trolling.
You in half.
So why don't you go visit another person's YouTube channel and beg them to sub for you?
Yeah, I got 2 words for you.
And we got Larry Bernard in the chat. Now, he actually has a legitimate statement in here. He says, how long do you think Kevin Owens will have the Universal World title? I really enjoy it.
I want to ask that too.
Well, I really, to Larry and to Corey, I don't see him dropping it at Clash of Champions. Because basically...
I think, y'all know what I think? I think it's his time.
I'm sorry?
It's his time.
It's his time?
It's his
It's time.
time.
The reason why I say I don't see him dropping the title at Clash of Champions, Corey and Larry, is
It's
because
all about the game, and now you play it. Boom, boom.
you hear them, huh, Corey?
Yep.
Yeah. Guaranteed to look for Triple H because of the fact that, again, if you look back to when Kevin Owens first won the title, Triple H had to be involved in that match. That signaled the beginning of a storyline, and they've been building it for the past 3 or 4 weeks now, a rivalry of sorts between Seth Rollins and Triple H. And what better way to really add fuel to the fire of that rivalry by having Triple H once again screw Seth Rollins out of the Universal Championship. So that's why I don't think, that's why I don't think Kevin Owens will drop the title. Because if anything, Triple H is going to be there to screw Seth Rollins over because it'll add fuel to the fire and possibly lead it toward their match towards Survivor Series.
Even though I think Rollins is going to see it coming, and he's going to have something waiting for Triple H, but they'll still get the best of him.
But to Larry Bernard and Corey, I hope that pretty much answered the question. That's just my personal opinion on it. Nick, what about you?
I think it's common science, really. I mean, as I was just saying, to get Seth Rollins over as the top babyface, he needs a top feud against the top heel, which is basically Triple H. So.
Hey, but hey, y'all talking about the big dogs, but y'all know y'all need to watch.
What's that?
T.J. Perkins.
T.J. Perkins? Oh, yeah, the match with T.J. Perkins and the Brian Kendrick. That definitely is going to be something to watch.
Look, and y'all know who else
It's the
y'all need to
Brian
watch?
Kendrick.
That black dude.
Rich Swann or Cedric Alexander?
Both of them.
Both of them.
Both of them.
I'm looking forward to when they're going to expand the cruiserweight roster. Because so far we only have 5 names that we know of. The 4 that we saw on Monday Night Raw, and T.J. Perkins as the cruiserweight champion.
Well, they said Jack Gallagher too, and
You got nobody else?
Noam Dar or whatever.
Zack Sabre.
And Zack Sabre, yeah.
I think they should let Neville because they didn't do something with Neville.
Yeah, definitely.
That was good too.
Yeah.
We have
Get Kalisto over there too. I mean, that's Kalisto's division.
What's up to Aubrey James in the chat room? Aubrey's has a question. Do you see a romance angel between Stephanie McMahon and Seth Rollins?
It happened too much before. They had like Kurt Angle.
That would be entertaining.
Yeah, is that what you're kind of referencing there, right there, Aubrey, a little bit? That whole thing that happened with Stephanie McMahon and Kurt Angle from so long ago?
And Macho Man.
I remember that.
Oh, no, don't even bring that one up. And you're wearing the shirt, too. You're wearing,
Oh yeah.
you're wearing the shirt, too, and he's talking about that.
He was eating Slim Jims before he came too.
No trivia?
No, well,
Well,
I'll tell you what. Can you see my T-shirt on TV right now, Corey?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Do you know who used to wear this shirt? Who invented the Job Squad?
And who was in the Job Squad?
The job squad.
What does everybody want?
Hey.
Ed!
Oh, look.
Yeah. But who was in the Job Squad without Snow?
And well, I think we can all answer that too, because there was a lot of people. Too Cold Scorpio was in it. Bob Holly was in it for a time. Was Bart Gunn ever part of the Job Squad? I can't remember.
No, Gilbert was.
Yeah, Gilbert was.
Gilbert.
And for some reason, I'm thinking Bart Gunn. I might be wrong on that
Parker
one.
Holly.
Yeah, Bob Holly, Hardcore
Bob
Holly.
Holly.
Yeah, we mentioned him.
The Blue Mini was on.
Yeah, Blue Meanie. Yeah, I think he was in there as well.
He had the half shirt and stuff.
Well, look, I got one more question for y'all.
What you got, Corey? Because we got to get to Clash of Champions and Raw and SmackDown Live.
Y'all think they gonna add us another hardcore belt?
I want to say if they continue in the direction they're going right now, if they continue to be I'm sorry, I'm just reading what Aubrey just put in the chat room. Aubrey says, I felt the sexual tension between them. Oh, you know what? I got to applaud you on that one, Aubrey. We got to give you a round of applause on that one. That was good. But back to what I was saying, if they continue to not go towards the PG era of what they've been doing and start maybe leaning a little bit more being TV-14 a little bit, but not too much, I can see them doing it. I can see them doing it.
Which brand though?
You know what?
I would rather for Raw.
But you know what? I'm going to disagree with you for that for one reason, Corey. Raw already has an extra title now in the Cruiserweight Championship. Yeah. So why not designate that title to SmackDown Live?
Yeah, but Raw is 3 hours. SmackDown is just 2 hours.
I would rather for SmackDown.
Yeah, because then it would kind of like disperse the titles. I would say a little bit more evenly like that.
Why they don't give a new WWF belt?
For the Hardcore Championship?
No, for the old belt.
That's a good question, Corey. To be honest, I don't have an answer.
AJ Styles got it.
I think WWE right now with the current design that they have, I think they're pretty much set on using that one for right now. Because if you look at the way that the actual world title belt is designed, it's kind of like the mainstay design. And if you go from like that title to the Women's Championship on Raw and SmackDown and the Universal Championship, it's all one set design. So I think that's why WWE wants to keep it like that. And, you know, they kind of do it like in the Olympics when you win a gold medal. You don't see a different medal for every other person.
Yeah.
All right.
So that's why they want to keep it like that. Well, Corey, it's been awesome having you on this week, man. But we got to let you go, man. And we're going to talk to you next week after we find out what happened at Clash of Champions.
All right, bro.
Yo, brother.
Cool. And to the people in the chat room, and despite the one troll that's in there, if you want to start going in, putting in your predictions for Clash of Champions, we'll read them here on the stream.
He's on the bridge, man.
But Nick, let's go before we go to Clash of Champions. Let's find out what happened on Raw.
Raw.
Raw wrestle.
Let's see. It opened with Roman Reigns, which is always not that exciting.
Yeah.
Let's see. Stephanie McMahon. And what do y'all think about this? Are they kind of writing Mick Foley out of the storyline? It seems as though they are making him have a feud, and it's just the writing's on the wall for him to get fired. I mean, he messed up. He posted something about like a TNA show.
Yeah, but that's not kayfabe though. That's not kayfabe. You know, that was like a pure accident. So I don't think they would play that into a storyline. But then again, they played Roman Reigns' suspension into a storyline, and I still don't think that was legit. Because when Randy Orton got suspended, did they put that in a storyline? No.
Well, I almost just see the writing on the wall for the Authority to come back and them get rid of Mick Foley or let him go do his TV show and other things that he's doing for the company.
I think it all depends on what happens at Clash of Champions when Triple H, and I'm going to say about what a 99% probability factor of Triple H appearing at Clash of Champions. It all depends on what happens there and what happens on the following Raw after Clash of Champions.
Wouldn't it be great if we got to see Mick Foley go against Triple H one more time?
No.
Thumbtacks out
No.
with the
he's too-
barbed wire.
No.
Foley's
baseball
too
bat.
old. Mick Foley can't even walk. He walks.
Well, he may be in the best shape of his life right now, but he's not in
that was
wrestling
a joke,
shape.
People, that was a joke. Which I actually saw Mick Foley go against Triple H in the main event of Royal Rumble 2000 and
Live, man,
in
yeah.
Madison Square Garden.
That was the street fight, wasn't it?
Yeah, brutal.
Yeah, and they pulled the thumbtacks out, they pulled everything out, which they
Darby.
also had best 2 out of 3 tables matches with the Hardy Boys and Dudley
Oh
Boys.
yeah, I remember that.
They had Mae Young.
Oh, I don't want to remember that.
Tata.
I don't want to remember.
Let's see, and The Rock won the Royal Rumble.
Yeah, I don't want to. You know, it's
Yeah,
no
Big Show and The Rock
disrespect to
talk
Mae
about
Young,
that,
but when you're that age, you need to keep your shirt on.
Yeah. Well, I think it was like plastic.
You want to see my?
But Aubrey says in the chat room, I feel Clash of Champions is going to be disappointing. Aubrey, can I ask you why? And when you post your response to that, I'll read it. But back to I think the whole gist of the opening segment was just pretty obvious.
Yeah.
Set up the United States Championship match with Rusev and Roman Reigns, and set up the steel cage match.
That was about it. Basically all the main players. Kevin Owens came out, he's pissed. Seth Rollins is out, he's pissed. He was next up to fight actually against Rusev, which ended up being a double count out. Nobody takes a loss there. And there's been a lot of old school booking on Raw lately.
When you look at it from the go-home show perspective, having them both take a count-out loss really is beneficial for both guys because neither one of them didn't have to look weak. That is, until they made their way to the Raw announce table, Nick, right?
And that was pretty awesome. Seth Rollins did his first big spot of the night, diving off the announce table, which is now on the Raw stage.
Mark, what did you think about that spot?
I watched the previews. I didn't get watch the whole show, but I watched I thought it was a pretty good spot. He's gonna hurt himself one day, but I thought it was pretty entertaining.
He's trying to get over.
Yeah.
I mean, they need
Yeah,
need a top face.
Yeah.
And Roman Reigns ain't it right now, so.
Now with all the IWC heat he's been getting.
Yeah, exactly.
And they're
By the way, this show in WGS-TV has no affiliation with the IWC or the YWC whatsoever.
Can I stick them?
I ain't got
Can
no
I show them
beef
who's
with
number
you.
one?
Huh?
Can I
Let's
show them who's
see.
number one?
I don't think you can do that on AOC.
I can do that.
Okay.
Braun Strowman against Sin Cara.
Yeah, what a squash match. Poor Sakara.
Pretty much a squash match. Yeah,
Yeah,
Sin Cara would be better off in the cruiserweights or something, which I
Yeah.
don't know if he's under 205, but.
Now, if they really wanted to go creatively with the direction of Braun Strowman having a problem with luchadors, why not rip the mask off Sin Cara?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it's
leave
just
America to learn.
Hunico, isn't it?
Yeah,
Yeah.
And so they've shown his face.
it's
before.
just a thought, It's just a thought.
Let's see the women's tag.
Hold on, Nick. We got a response from Aubrey. He said, Aubrey says there are no storylines. That makes sense. We're going to get a finish and get an F-word finish. And I would assume, Aubrey, your response is about the eventual appearance of Triple H in the Universal Championship match. Am I correct in saying that? And when Aubrey puts her response or his or her response, I don't. We'll read it on here. But back to what you were saying, Nick.
Let's see. We just have the next match. Which one thing I did notice is they have a lot more matches on Clash of Champions than what they did at Backlash.
I think that's
and the
because-
matches were a lot longer. I mean,
Yeah.
I found on the
That's right,
SmackDown pay-per-view.
Yeah.
Because it's a smaller roster, not
Yes.
as big of his card, so they go long because it's still the same amount
Yeah.
on the time on the show.
Yeah.
Because I almost thought it was going to be a 2-hour pay-per-view, there for a while, and it almost should have been,
Yeah.
Next was the the women, Sasha and Bailey going against Charlotte and Dana Brooke.
I think we also need to bring up to the fact at that point there was a backstage segment
Right.
where they were talking about the double pin.
Double pin, which I didn't even realize.
Neither did I, but they actually put more focus on it. And because of that now, instead of it being a one-on-one match, it's now going to be a triple threat match. And I believe they've had an encounter with that in NXT, but it was in a fatal four-way fashion, and the extra person that was in there was Becky Lynch.
That would have been a good trivia question.
Yeah, it sure would have. But I'll tell you what, when you got three talented women like Charlotte, like Sasha Banks, like a Bailey, you're expected to have a good match. I know SummerSlam was an exception to that.
Well, it's going to be a good match as long as Sasha Banks doesn't break her neck.
Or if Charlotte doesn't botch any of the spots, which would cause her to
Right.
break her neck.
Or start crying when the crowd really boos her. Which she's gotten over that. She's gotten way better on the mic with her persona since she's been on the main roster. I will give her that. So the heels actually went over in this one, which kind of leads me to think that either Sasha Banks or Bailey will probably end up taking that title on Sunday. But we'll talk about that maybe in a little bit, huh?
Yeah, a little bit.
Predictions?
Larry Bernard says, I feel Sasha will walk away with it after Dana Brooks turns on Charlotte.
I can see it.
Yeah, especially with the way that they've been doing the storyline.
But I can also see that with Bailey, too.
Exactly, but if you... And Aubrey said they made Kevin Owens look weak.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He lost.
Oh, yeah, he
I
did.
hate it when the world champion loses.
Yeah, I can kind of see where, to Larry's comment, I can kind of see where he's coming from with this, especially with the way creatively in the storyline, how Dana Brooke has been being treated terribly by Charlotte. So for Dana Brooke to turn on her would not be a surprise, to be honest with you. So Larry has a very feasible scenario with that, but with that, would Dana Brooke go to Sasha Banks and turn heel, or will she go back to Emma when Emma makes her eventual return to TV?
Which Emma has been cleared. That was the other name I was thinking of. Emma has been cleared. Also, Tamina has been cleared.
And Luke Parker.
Which Tamina is kind of very similar to
Nia Jax.
Nia Jax. Do you put her on Raw? Do you put her on SmackDown?
I put her on SmackDown.
No, I would put her on Raw. Because, again, it's like
They
a
could
collision
even
of
be like a tag team.
It's either that or a collision of the forces.
Right.
Like when the Nia Jax and Asuka collided on NXT, they both looked really good in that match.
Yeah, the big
Right.
one against,
And
I guess
another,
the hot one that can kick ass.
And another big return is going to be Luke Harper as well.
Yeah, he needs to be on SmackDown.
They've all been cleared to return, so it's basically writing them back in the storylines at this point.
Aubrey says Sasha needs to turn heel. If they go the route with, if Larry's scenario pans out, Aubrey, and Sasha and Dana Brooke does turn on Charlotte and goes to Sasha, then yeah, I can see Sasha turning heel because she worked a great heel character in NXT.
I think she
Yeah,
would
the
make a
boss.
better heel and just be jealous of Bailey or something like that and screw Bailey over just to win the title back.
Yeah.
I can see it. Let's
Keep
see.
your comments coming, guys. We'll read them out loud.
Bo Dallas against Jobber Gary Graham.
First thing we need to recognize is how the commentators presented Gary Graham as the grandson of Michael P.S. Hayes. So I said it on YouTube earlier, he's got some lineage in him, and one would figure since they were in the Memphis area on Monday Night Raw that he's probably working the Tennessee independent scene.
Yeah.
Very interesting.
Bad Street.
But if they want to give Bo Dallas a new gimmick like they're trying to do, have him ditch the social outcast gear.
Yeah, really, he was wearing Outcast gear.
Maybe he ain't getting that much money. Maybe he needs.
So I guess he can't afford new tights yet.
Yeah, invent a new gimmick. Give him new gear.
Yeah, the crowd wasn't into it. They were chanting, "Let's go, Jobber." And basically like a corkscrew net breaker finish kind of
Yeah,
thing.
it's basically his modified version of Cody Rhodes' Crossroads.
Yeah.
Yeah, pretty much.
So what you see as a new gimmick for Bo Dallas to be better?
Well, for one thing, like I said, dump the social outcast gear.
Grow a beard and freaking join the Wyatts.
Yeah, because he's trying to pass himself off as a guy with attitude, like a new attitude, a mean streak in him. But how can you?
Poems.
Yeah, but how can you hate that face of his?
All right.
Especially, but you can start hating that face when he starts talking.
He needs to start baking everybody cookies again. I mean, that was like probably the best thing he did.
Like, comment if what you want to see Bo Dallas new gimmick.
Yeah, to Larry and Aubrey in the chat room, what do you guys think? What does Bo Dallas have to do to basically make his new gimmick stick?
Turn it to a Wyatt.
Like, wear a suit and cut his hair and be like...
Cesaro and Sheamus, everybody knew that they would even this thing out and have the 7th match at the pay-per-view, and Cesaro did just that with the neutralizer, even with the bad back. But the question is, who's going to take the number 7?
That is a very interesting question, to say the least. And the way they worked this series is something I've seen before. In fact, they even did it for the first Best of 7 series in WCW, if I remember correctly. And they also work it the way that sometimes they do 2 out of 3 falls matches. They have the heel have the advantage first. That way the underdog becomes the face, and they have to overcome the adversity and tie it up. Now, when it comes to the finals, that's a big question mark right there. I think I just did that backwards, so it'd be like that.
And I almost see Sheamus taking this one. And there has been rumors of Cesaro possibly making the shift over to SmackDown. I don't know if those rumors are any good, but
maybe the stipulation.
I think SmackDown could definitely use Cesaro better than what Raw is using him.
Yeah.
Because Cesaro's a world champion on SmackDown, but on Raw he's struggling for TV time, Cesaro. We'll see with Sheamus. We can go through our list of predictions toward the end. The list of Jericho, man. Jericho just keeps on bringing it every week.
It's kind of like the old school Jericho.
When he had the list of moves.
Yeah, list of moves,
I love that. The list of Jericho.
He was really mad. I guess the storyline backstage was that he was mad at Mick Foley that he's been picking on Kevin Owens and his best friend, and he's a stupid idiot. Jericho's just been killing it.
Yes.
Grievances against Foley. He puts the crowd on his list. He's like, all right, I have a grievance against the crowd. Enzo and Cass interrupted. Shining Stars. Let's see. Sami Zayn. I don't know, a bunch of other people. It ended up leading to a match, obviously.
Yeah, and we got a couple of responses in the chat room. Aubrey says Cesaro needs to go to SmackDown, so Aubrey agrees with you on that one.
The mid-card is terrible on SmackDown.
Yeah.
And Larry says, Bo may need to do what Lenny Poffo did years ago, from Leaping Lenny to the Genius. A complete re-envisioning of the character. I can kind of see where Larry's coming from with that.
He sounded like a dark genius kind of reading the poem,
Yeah.
I mean, it was, and it ended kind of goofy though.
Yeah.
Back to the old Bo Dallas.
Yeah, or you could be like a crooked motivational speaker,
Crooked motivational speaker.
But
wait, hold on.
The 10-man tag.
We got a caller.
Ahead.
Yes.
Hello, caller. You're on the air.
June.
June, is that? Well, I hit speaker headset and he hung up.
I'm not sure. But in the 10-man tag, New Day, Enzo and Cass.
Speaking of that, Aubrey just
Sami
said.
Zayn all won.
Yeah. Speaking of that, Aubrey in the chat room says they're burying Enzo and Cass. Would you agree with that?
No. They're just giving them something to do. They just don't have another good team for them to go against on Raw. Because the Dudley Boys left.
And honestly, I didn't recognize that number as June's number. It looked like a different number. So if that person wants to try calling back in again, please do.
Yeah, I mean, I don't think they're burying Enzo and Cass, even though I could definitely see the Shining Stars beating them at the pay-per-view, just to kind of put over the Shining Stars a little bit.
They need to start doing more with them creatively, because think about all the vignettes they had with the Shining Stars, trying to build them up, and then when they make their eventual debut on Monday Night Raw, what did they do? Zippo.
Well, the crowd was like crickets, because the promos were so stupid.
Yeah.
You
So,
know,
so that's why they need to start doing more creatively
I like
with them.
what they're doing with the whole like selling the
Timeshares,
timeshares,
yeah.
and, like messing with our truth. I guess anything with the Golden Truth is usually going to be kind of funny.
Yeah.
Which they hadn't really been on TV a lot. There you go, give them another shot.
All right. Hello, caller. You're on the air.
What's up, fellas?
Hey,
doing?
what's up? How you doing?
Yep.
Actually good tonight. Feeling right.
So what you got for us?
I don't know. What y'all got for me?
Well, we got this. We got goodbye. We do not tolerate foolishness here unless it's us doing the foolishness.
Yeah.
If you want to call into the show and if you have a legit comment or a question, we'll take that. But if you want to call into the show and act foolish like that person did, you get a click and a goodbye.
Yeah. Click.
Just like Sean's View Entertainment on YouTube. I'm not going to tolerate trolls here on the phone calls.
Yeah.
You think you're going to come in here on this show and on this live stream and get your 15 seconds of fame? Guess what?
Oh,
It's
no,
not going to
you didn't.
happen.
No,
Yeah.
you didn't.
So we're going to forget that. Let's go on.
Yeah.
The debut of the cruiserweights.
I feel bad for Mick Foley because during that announcement, he kind of botched it a little bit. Yeah, so he's had
I
a-
don't see why he even had to come out and announce them, but yeah.
Aubrey says there more storyline. I'm not sure what that's referring to. Aubrey,
They need more storyline.
oh, they need more storylines? Oh, yeah, I agree with that one.
They need
And they
better.
struggle on their mid-card storylines.
Yes.
But
both
it's
shows.
just like, it's the talent that's got to do it on their
Yeah.
own.
But
really.
speaking of talent, how about those cruiserweights?
Yeah.
How about
Awesome.
that match? Great match.
Uh,
There you go. You made an enemy, Billy.
So, you want to try this again?
Dude, what are you talking about, man? Getting all hot to my 15 minutes. What are you talking about, dude?
When you call into a talk show, be prepared to have something to talk about. Do not call into a talk show and think that you're going to come in here and waste our time. All right?
You naughty, naughty boy!
We're here to talk about.
Dude, you better watch how you speak to people. That's all I'm going to tell you. You understand me, boy?
And watch who you're calling boy. Watch this. Goodbye. And from now on, your call will not be taken on this show. And if you got a problem with me, hey, I'm not a hard man to find.
If you got a problem, yo, I solve it. Check out the hook while my DJ revolves it. Ice, ice.
All right. Again, so that person, you are.
Why so serious?
So we got your number on here, by the way. We recognize your number. So if you try to call again, you will not get through. All right. So to Aubrey says that this card is thrown together in reference to the Clash, and to an extent, yes and no. Some matches were thrown together, some weren't. But let's get off the negative. Let's go to the positive and how great those cruiserweights were.
Cruiserweights.
Great.
Yeah, Rich Swann, Cedric Alexander, the Brian Kendrick, and Grand Metalik. That they captivated that whole show.
And yeah, definitely got the This Is Awesome chance. Everybody's been waiting for it. And these guys really delivered. Brian Kendrick was really the only heel in the entire match. So it kind of led me to believe that he would win.
And he did.
I don't know. I mean, it's kind of obvious because T.J. Perkins obviously going to be a babyface, you would think in the beginning.
Yep.
So, and plus, Kendrick sells the storylines better than anybody.
Oh, yes.
That's why he's in.
But all these guys look great. They all look like $1 million. I really thought Cedric Alexander kind of stole it, the show to a large degree, which they all look great. But Cedric Alexander looked really good.
Yeah.
But he made him in at NXT as well.
Yeah, and how about that finish of that lumbar? I'm trying to remember what he called it, but it was like an insane version of a backbreaker.
Yeah.
It was like a power bomb into a backbreaker. And
it looked pretty bad.
yeah, and I think he contorts the body sideways in a sense in mid-move.
Yep.
I think.
Good move. I like it.
Yeah.
The cage match, which, we talked, Brian Kendrick is going to be going against T.J. Perkins, cruiserweight.
That's going to be a good match.
I'm looking forward to it. The main event was a cage match with Roman Reigns, a non-title match against Kevin Owens.
And I think that's one of Aubrey's gripes about Monday Night Raw this week is how they made Kevin Owens look weak. And to an extent, I agree with Aubrey on that one.
Right. That was probably Vince McMahon's call. Like, we got to have Roman.
Yeah, even though Kevin Owens is a heel, why make your champion in a go-home show leading into a pay-per-view look weak?
I really don't know. I really don't know why they did that.
Now, see, if anybody wants to answer that question, you can call in. Do not call into a talk show and expect to be there and say, well, what you got for me?
Yeah, well, it was a good match, and I guess the real storyline was kind of afterwards when Rusev came out and jumped Roman Reigns.
It was expected, to be honest.
Well, it was expected, and then they locked him in the cage and beat him up, and Seth Rollins made the save by jumping off the top of the cage. So they're trying to make Rollins the superhero, and I think Triple H's involvement only helps that cause, because, hey, I was telling Mark a little while ago, like, WWE really only has 5 or 6 superstars. You got Undertaker, Triple H, Brock Lesnar, Randy Orton, John Cena, and maybe The Rock whenever he wrestles.
Aubrey wants to know why T.J. Perkins wasn't on Raw this week. I think he really wasn't necessary.
They should have at least interviewed him or something.
Yeah, I agree with that. Maybe as a backstage segment,
Right.
But I really don't think he was necessary because of the fact that the only needed the Fatal 4-Way.
Or he should have been on commentary for the Fatal 4-Way.
Yeah, or like ask him about who you think is going to win, TJ. And be like, he'll give us his, point.
Just like, hey, here's your new cruiserweight champion. Like, nice to meet you, national TV audience. We still don't know who T.J. Perkins is if you don't have WWE Network
Or TNA.
Or, they don't know. You might not know.
WWE. At certain points during the manic gimmick, when he's backstage, he always had the mask off. He never put it on until he got into the ring. Aubrey has another comment for us, or a question. Why can't we set this drunk Roman Reigns when he was in the match, didn't have to have him win? Which was basically something we were just talking about. In a go-home show, the champion shouldn't be made to look weak. Especially during a go-home show with the pay-per-view that's coming up this weekend. Creatively, that's a bad decision in my book.
Because if it were for the world championship, Roman Reigns would be your world champion. And I think all that does is give Roman Reigns a title shot down the road. Yeah. Possibly at Survivor Series, a one-on-one match with Seth Rollins going against Triple H.
And they try to put him back in the total, but like you said, Vince McMahon probably still sees.
Well, what else do they have as top baby faces on Raw right now?
I think the same as Ancient should be good.
He could be, but they just aren't pulling the trigger on some of these people. Neville could be really good, but they're not pulling the trigger.
Aubrey says, spell check, why couldn't they let Rusev? Well, I think in a steel cage match, one of the stipulations is no disqualification.
Yeah.
So should we do a Clash of Champions prediction first, or SmackDown?
Let's address a couple of things from SmackDown. And one of the things I said earlier on YouTube this week, Apollo Crews jobbing out to Baron Corbin, I disagree with 100%. Yeah. Apollo Crews is too damn talented to be pushed aside as a jobber. But on the same token, and this is exactly what I said on YouTube, I understand why they did it the way they did it. Jack Swagger was on commentary for this match. They wanted to have Baron Corbin look strong, especially since we now have an angle. Yeah. Possibly coming up for No Mercy, as I see in your notes right here, between Baron Corbin and Jack Swagger.
That's it. That's where it's going. They need some more mid-card talent, and there's Jack Swagger. We, the people, here to save the day.
Yeah.
And we also had Miz retaining the Intercontinental Championship against Dolph Ziggler with the use of the hairspray.
Yeah.
Again, that's another dirty finish for the Intercontinental title match. Will we see this extend to possibly No Mercy with another match and a special stipulation between Miz and Dolph Ziggler?
I think that's where it's going. the never-ending title reign with no other people really in the mid-card to take on The Miz. So, we'll see about that. But how about the lowest ratings for SmackDown yet since it's gone to Tuesdays? And I think large in part, a lot of that is doing to opening the show with the women's contract signing.
I disagree with that. I thought that was one of the best segments of the night.
It was a decent segment, but you're a random person that doesn't watch wrestling all the time. Oh, wrestling's on. Oh, they're doing a Divas contract signing.
Yeah.
Let me change the
Not a
channel.
Braun Petting or
but
Andre match.
wrestling fans need to know how passionate a promo Becky Lynch cut on SmackDown Live. One of the best promos I've ever heard her cut. It was really good.
But then there's wrestling fan ratings, and then there's everybody rating.
Like
I know.
And they're trying to get everybody rating.
I understand that.
So, I'm just saying, start the show off with, John Cena, Dean Ambrose, AJ Styles, whoever, the GMs. Which they've been doing the GMs. But anyways, Eric Rowan against Randy Orton.
Again, why is Eric Rowan back in the Wyatt family gimmick? Do they not know what to do with him?
Yeah. Well, why? It's just I guess uses him as a pawn, and that's why.
Oh my
why
God, I can't die. Yeah. Just like here on YouTube,
he sacrifices the lamb.
In a sense, I agree with that one.
That's a good thing. I think they should bring, if Harper comes back, I think they should have, the free bird with the Wyatts.
How about Dean Ambrose beating John Cena clean in the main event? I don't think you don't agree with that?
They only did it just because Dean Ambrose is getting another title shot next week, and they had to make him look strong for that world title match.
Yes, but when will the change in Dean Ambrose's gimmick happen? Because I think we said it for quite some time. The Lunatic Fringe gimmick is stale and dry right now.
It really is. I think everybody's bored with Ambrose right now. He needs kind of an overhaul on the gimmick. I think he let down the company with the title reign. It didn't really impress anybody. I think everybody was expecting a new Stone Cold. Did not happen. He's his own person.
It kind of messed up his character because he always been the lunatic, and that was the thing in his character. He wanted the championship.
I honestly think they need to have him committed and have him come out in the straitjacket.
Yeah.
To our chat room people, what do y'all think about Dean Ambrose? Do you think he should keep the Lunatic Fringe gimmick, or do you think he should change it? And while we wait for those responses, the rest of the time, let's talk about the Clash of Champions.
Clash of Champions. Let's see. So we covered SmackDown. We want to work from bottom to top.
Bottom to top.
All right. So first off, from some people that don't have matches on the card yet, but we might see Titus O'Neil, Darren Young. They haven't been on TV the last couple of weeks, so I don't think they're going to do it.
They need to put them together again and put a
maybe a backstage segment. I don't know.
Maybe.
We'll see. Braun Strowman's on TV every week. I don't know if he'll have a squash match on Clash of Champions. Neville hadn't been on TV in a while. Jinder Mahal seemed like he got a push last week, but then we didn't see him again this week. Bo Dallas maybe having a match. But other than that, I'd say Enzo and Cass versus the Shining Stars. I almost see the Shining Stars going over in this one just to get them some heat.
Yeah, I agree with that one because of the fact, we started to see a new creative direction for the Shining Stars with the timeshare thing. And I think they need to go over on Enzo and Cass if they want to continue that gimmick and make this a relevant tag team on Monday Night Raw.
You have one relevant heel tag team on Raw, and that's the Club, pretty much.
Yeah.
So they need a second. because the Dudleys left a big void, because they were pretty much jobbing out to all the tag teams.
Yeah.
So, needless to say, I could see the Shining Stars winning that one by cheating, getting some heat. Let's see, Nia Jax against Alicia Fox.
I have a little bit of an update about that, and by the way, we have a question. The Enigma 1 wants to know what we think about Broken Matt Hardy.
I think it's pretty cool. It's he's crazy, Maybe Dean Ambrose could learn something from Matt Hardy.
And if I want to sum it up quickly about my opinion about Broken Matt Hardy, he's a guy who has completely reinvented himself in the wrestling industry, and he did it the right way. And now he has an insanely popular gimmick, not only in TNA, but in the independents. as well, and he's making a killing. And not only that, but top officials in the WWE are kind of eyeballing Matt Hardy and trying to sign him, and I don't think that's going to happen anytime soon. Because he still has like a huge gripe with McMahon about the creative copyrights about Bray Wyatt and Kurt Hawkins and stuff like that. So I don't think that's going to happen anytime soon.
Yeah, I mean, I'd like to see it happen. I'd like to see both of the Hardys come back. And I could definitely see that happening. If the Hardys are still going, and they both stated that they want. Well, at least with Matt, he wants to retire. Jeff wants to retire in the WWE.
Yeah.
So yeah, Nia Jax
and Alicia Fox. They had it on I believe it was on the Fallout program on Monday Night Raw that they upload to YouTube. That apparently Jinder Mahal wants to help Alicia Fox find her inner peace.
Yeah.
So is that a clue of a new creative direction for Alicia Fox? Don't know why this match is going to happen. Just to give Nia Jax something to do, just to give her FaceTime.
That could be a decent comedy act, having Jinder Mahal trying to calm down crazy Alicia Fox.
Yeah, if we see something different out of Alicia Fox come Clash of Champions, I might lean towards Alicia Fox winning because the fact if Jinder Mahal's out there, then Jinder Mahal's going to be a major distraction.
Yeah.
Nah, Nia Jax.
But like I said, I'm just saying leaning towards it. I'm not saying yes or no.
Nia Jax is gonna win that. And she's gonna crush her. She's gonna crush. Best of 7. We got Cesaro and Sheamus in the 7th and deciding match.
Yeah, and you said earlier in the show that you see Sheamus going over on that one. And if they really are going to make the creative move to move Cesaro from Raw to SmackDown, then they have to have Sheamus go over.
I would almost think that they should have made that the gimmick, as far as the loser has to leave Raw.
Yeah. That's how you get
hey,
Cesaro
it's never too late to add that to the card. But
same to you, chat room people. Put in your predictions for Clash of Champions, and if we have enough time, we'll read them.
Chris Jericho against Sami Zayn.
Oh, they've worked some fantastic matches in the past.
Yeah, stupid idiots.
And the matchup, when you think about it, kind of writes itself. If you've been following them this past year, Chris Jericho and Sami Zayn, insane matches, great matches. And Chris Jericho with the list of Jericho, like we said already, struck gold. I mean, how great is Chris Jericho creatively when he's a heel? He can do so much more as a heel than he's ever done as a face. And he's done some great stuff. And the list of Jericho is probably one of the best things he's done in quite some time. And I personally loved it. So look for him to have the list out there. I don't know what they've been doing with Sami Zayn as of late. They really haven't done anything.
Well, it seems like Sami Zayn gets hurt in every match, and it almost makes him look soft. Even though he fights through it every time, it just dude, you get hurt every match. You pull, you hurt your ankle, or you pull your shoulder, or whatever. But either way, I see Sami Zayn winning.
Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised to see Sami Zayn win, but I would like to see Jericho go over.
It is very possible. Really, I don't see many titles changing hands at Clash of Champions, and with the first one we'll talk about, the Cruiserweight title, TJ Perkins making his debut against Brian Kendrick.
That's going to be an awesome match.
Yes, 100%.
It's going to steal the show.
Yeah, and let's just say this. We're all going to win from that one.
Yeah.
Because we're going to sit there, because I'm going to tell you this right now. This is how I'm going to watch it. I'm just going to sit back and relax and enjoy it.
Yeah.
Because that'll be the first time in quite some time that we've been able to sit back and enjoy a WWE match. And we have that opportunity with TJ Perkins and D. Brian Kendrick. Now, as far as title changes, D. Brian Kendrick is a former champion, a former tag team champion. I believe they put him over as one of the longest reigning.
This is his debut.
Yeah, but
he only got 2 minutes.
So, but let's just run down. I'm going to pick the Brian Kendrick to win the Cruiserweight Championship. I'm going to keep the titles on the New Day. As far as the Women's Championship match, I would like to see Bayley win it, but for some reason I see them putting it back on Sasha Banks. Roman Reigns and Rusev. maybe this is the time Rusev drops the title to Roman Reigns. I don't know. But the IWC can stop pissing and moaning about Roman Reigns. Oh, we hate him so much. He's not in the world title picture or the universal title picture. Get over it.
I can see him as the U.S. champion and make him become heel.
And Kevin Owens and Seth Rollins, we've already said it. You know, the probability factor is just too high of Triple H being there. So I have to go with Kevin Owens to retain the title.
Surely.
What about you, Nick? Very quickly, just put in your picks.
Let's see. I see the New Day probably retaining. T.J. Perkins definitely retaining. I could see Sasha Banks. I like what y'all pitched on that, and I even like Sasha Banks possibly turning heel, having her feud with Bayley, and Charlotte feuding with Dana Brooke. Rusev against Roman Reigns. I see Rusev retaining, and I also see Kevin Owens retaining. Mark,
I think the same.
you agree.
Yeah.
Well,
Ladies and gentlemen, my name is Nick Fuquay, Nayday. I don't make anybody say anything.
Yeah. And
there goes Mike again.
Mark
And there goes his ink pen. And I'm the Russell Gamer, and we will see you next week right here on AOC and WGS-TV. So, with that being said, bye, everybody.
Bye. Sorry, caller, we hung up on. Call back next week, more polite.